So in Python, we have seen many data formats. We worked on many data things, right? From the working on single variable. It's every time this is very important to revise what things we have done and what things are pending. To remember from the day one, I'm talking about this, the variable, then the group of data, that is a string. Then after that, list tuple dictionary, and even with list, you can say that tuple dictionary and the set. So this is what basically where we are storing a group of data. For example, we are storing data like this. Then after that, we have seen the file handle, where the something file we are trying to see text or at least. Initially, we are getting the data from variable, then the string, then list of a dictionary set, and then the file. After that, we have seen the data format or data which is in the Excel, exe, or CSV. CSV, right? And after that, the last format that we have seen, which is in the form of JSON. Okay. So now there is only one data format is pending. And that is nothing but your SQL or directly from the database. And we are already done with the database. We may need a short revision also. But we have basic idea that what is database, how the data is stored and everything. So now we have to connect or database connection is the only pending part. Hence, we have to work with the SQL queries. So, whichever the format you are seeing, the variable, string, listable, dictionary, or arrays, or the file, text file, Excel file, CSV file, JSON API, and the SVN. These are the data which we can have, or these are the different format where we can get the data. And this is universally a common thing. It's not just for Python. You can learn any technology. You can find this many format only. Nowadays, the most commonly used things are these three: API and a JSON, SQL, the database, CSV or Excel database. We have seen all the format, only one part is pending, that is nothing but SQL. You have aware about SQL, some sort of it, right? So, what is database? It has been long time, like 2 3 months ago, we have seen the database. So database is what, how you define the database. If someone asks you, what is a database? What's use of database here? What we can do with the database? Yes.
We can store data according to group in database.
Yeah. So database is nothing but it's storage. Where you store the data. And if you remember that we are storing data always in the form of tables. Okay. So in database, they we are creating a multiple table. PostgreSQL database we have seen. So where the group of data is stored. Every software need a database. So database may have different column names. For example, I'm writing some basic things, mobile, email, address, or anything. So database is a kind of things. And if you want to connect this database with any kind of technology, it may be a Java, it may be a Python, it may be .NET, anything. So basic some parameter we needed. Basic parameters means what? The host name. The host means where is your database? Initially, we are keep the database on the local host that is in a machine. Then you need a username. What is the username that your database want to connect? In our case, our database username is a Postgres. It's a password. Whichever the password we have given for the database, you can use that. Right? Then the port number also you need. The port number. The by default, the we are using PostgreSQL and the PostgreSQL port is 5432. Okay. So this is the host name, username, password, and this one. So connecting the any database, you need these four parameters. And then every programming language have some technology, have some library, have some built-in function. In the similar manner, now there are different kind of database, but we are going to connect the database, which is name is PostgreSQL. So whichever the database we are having, name of the database is Postgres, Postgresql, Postgres. Okay. Now in the Python, if you want to connect directly with the programming, or if you want to write some queries with the directly with the programming, we may need to write so many lines of code. But Python is known for the model, like for working with the Excel, we are use pandas model, and to work with the API that is JSON data. Which model we have used for work with JSON API data? The name of the model which load JSON data or API.
Pandas?
Pandas is for Excel. No?
Oh, yes.
I'm asking about JSON data or API. The last lecture we have done. Yes, you know that, but you're not able to recall. But can you guess it? Request model is there. Okay,
Yes.
request. Fine. So now in the similar manner, we want to connect a Python programming language with this database. So in the Python programming, there is a model exists, or it is a model. We need to install it first, and that name of the model is, so depend on things which database you are using. But now we are using a PostgreSQL. So there is a model name PSYCO, Postgre Connect PG2. Okay, because the name of the model is something different, but they are given the same name. We also need to use the same name. So as usual, our very first step is to install this model. And once this install model, then use that model. After this is a model name, huh? This is a model that we have to install. And this model provides so many built-in functions. So there is a one function. The name of the function is connect. CONNECT connect. Before connecting in connection, we need to pass host name, username, password, port, everything. And whichever the credential we are passing after installing these models and within this function, our database is get connected. Okay, we have done created many databases. If you remember the, let me open Cypress at this PG admin 4, and I will revise some basic queries so that you can connect. So this is what we need. Until it open, let us install the module, which is your, yeah, which is the model names. And you both of you know that how to install that models. If you are connected with the laptop, you can try
Yes, sir.
simultaneously. Yes. Okay. So RV, you know the position, you have to go with the file location, then step up to step one. Okay. So now let me install this model. To install this model, I have to install python dot exe minus m pip pip install, and the name of the module is this PSYCEO Python Connect PS PSYCO PG2. Let me verify PSYCO PG2. Yeah, this is model name. So let me try this. I have already done the requirement, so it's fine giving the message that requirement is already satisfied. If you are installing it for first time, it will load all the libraries from the related to that direction files. So once it installed, let's go to this your database. If you remember, there is a server, and within the server there is a PostgreSQL, and we have multiple database. If you remember our database name, so it will be something school kind of thing we have created. Let's open any database. We'll try to find our database. If fine, yeah, you can see that we have a database. Which is school. Okay. And the basic property for this connecting database you can find here. So it's a property. You can able to see that the properties, the parameters in connection. You can see that our host name is what? Port host. First, the port is 5432. Okay. And username is a Postgres. And the password you already know. We just need a database name. So these are the three, four parameter we need to connect with our database. So here our database name is also school. And within that we have some tables also. Let me open the database first. That is school. If you remember the table position, the table is available, yeah, in schemas, and within that schemas we have a table structure here. See, you can right click over the query tools, and I don't know the remember the table name, but you can see that there are table, contact, and the result. So basic query. What is SQL query for getting all the record from database? Now remember that for fetching all the data from the database. No? Select query. Okay, no worries. So very first thing what we'll do, we have all the details. We know the properties, and we know the database names. So our very first job is to be create a connection, and then we go with the queries. So I'll take one Python files I already taken. So very first thing I want to create a connection with database. So what I do, the very first thing we can import our models. import importer. Which your model name is PSCO. PSY. PSYCO. PG2. This is a model names. Okay. We want to create a connections. And if you remember this try and except try catch block, is there any external errors comes? So this will works except exceptr exception as in,
Yes, sir.
and within that I will create the one of the object or function that is correct. So here I can use something variable, for example con is equal to, you can use a short form also. Let me use a short form as a pg. Okay. You got it? What do you mean by this? Okay, add a PG. That's short. Then use a PG dot connect. CONNEC to connect. We want to connect our database, but to connect your database, you need a different parameters. The very first parameter you need host. In our case, the host is a local host. LOCALHOST, local host. Second parameter we need the you can say that the database, which database you want to connect it. So specify the database name. Database is equal to. In our case, database name is school. In whichever you may have a database. So in that our case, this is school. Second name, we need the username and the password. So the user for the Postgres is POSTGRES Postgres. We need now password also. So the PASSWRD password. So whichever the password you have given, in my case, my password I can print SURE/2023. And the last parameter is a port. port. The default port is 5432. So this many parameter we need to connect with the database. If everything is properly connected, is there any missing thing? Either database name is wrong, or username is wrong, or password is name is wrong, we get the exception. But if everything is okay, then we can have the message that is connection success.
Yes, sir.
So DEP connect success. So let's see if everything is correct. Its connection will become success. Let me run this. Oh, indentation issue. This one of these ways. Perfect. Now let's do it. Again, indentation issue. Tab. Okay. Okay. There is an error for the what my error? Password authentication failed. Serious error 2023. Okay, Postgres user Postgres. Okay, so let's run. Is there any error? Something exception we are getting. That exception is check the spelling of local host. Something everything is correct. Local host, LCL host, database name, Postgres, POST, GRES, correct. Password and the port. Everything is correct. It's a problem. TG.connect we have taken. That is not a problem. Actually, we can use short form also. Let's try with my function. Let's try. Hmm. Password is failed. What's the password? Maybe S is a capital by, I don't know. Maybe SURE is in search. Oh, the S is a capital. Okay. So fine. To
Yes.
connect with any database, you need this much credential. It's simple. The very first part, you have to install the PSYCO PG2. Then pass the credential, whichever the credential you are passing here. Let me share you this screenshot first. Okay, you got the process, how to connect the database. It's simple process, but pass proper parameters. Okay, fine. Now
Yes.
let's go with the, you can see that. Let's try to perform some queries now. So every time we need a connection, so I'll keep this connection as it is. So this is what the connection we have done. So let's go with the database. Now we have a table, and the table name is a contact. I want to see the how many values are available in the contact table. So we are performing the select query. If you remember that, if you select SELECT, select star from contact. Okay. So this is what the query to get the all the record from the database. If I execute this, you can find there are in table we have multiple records system. Okay. Now I want to perform the same queries in Python. So how we can perform that query that we are going to see. So the half of the part is already done. That is to create a connection with the database. Now what I'll do, okay, this is our connection and the connection is created. Now here we can start the part of the select. Select data. To get the data from the database, the data is maybe of any kind. Like any kind means there is a one row, 100 row, 1,000 rows. The group of data may be there present. So to iterate all the data, we have a function name that is called cursor. It's any kind of data it may be that we can store. So for example, see here, our model name is pg dot cursor, cursor, cursor. Then after that, we can execute the query with the help of, there is a one more function, conv here at execute exe. That means come automatic or not. Okay, right. Okay, now what? Just write it down. Execute execute execute. And within this execute function, you can write the query that you want the data. So our query is very simple. Our table name is a context. So we can write select. Now we want all the fields star from table name is contact. CONTACT contact. So now what happened? It will use the number of record. So to iterate all the data, we need to use one of the loop here. Okay. Or the built-in function is also that the rows RW is equal to cursor dot fetch all, CUR dot fetch all, FETCH fetch AWL fetch all function. This means to after the execution of this query, it can fetch all the record from the database. But we need to print it also. But how many database is there? We don't know. So that's why right for anything dt in what row. So add and I can print the row. print print rw rows. So after the connection success, the data cursor will be connected to the PostgreSQL. It will execute the query and detail will be fetched with the help of this function, and whichever the data we are having can into is like this. Now let's see that we in database already we have this much of data. Can we see the same data set in the Python based console? Let's verify it. Okay, there is some problem. Is there? Problem is about
Mm.
cursor, cursor. CURSOR.
So after select data,
Where?
after select data,
Okay, this will
yes.
here we have it. Here is a problem. That's I'm checking what's the problem is there. Because we are getting DB connect success message. Yeah. So up to here is okay. Now what we done? Okay, the module don't have this. Cursor is equal to PC dot or execute function name execute executes. This is also the correct. A fetch all is also correct. What's the problem with the cursor? CURSOR. Yeah, it is a correct. Oh, we have done something. It's not PC dot cursor, it's a connection dot cursor. Okay. Whichever the connection we have done, on that we have to implement the cursor. So not module dot cursor. Or let's see. If we have record, if we close this first and first run it. Ooh. Its function now object has no attribute dot execute. So the cursor is a rare ground that cursor is equal to con dot cursor. Here returns. I just mismatched. So here I need to write the cursor in, in above and write comments in the sides. Let's see now. Oh, so this much record we have. So the same data is there in the database. You can see that because semester is so no and the RV also were written. Here is also we are having same data. See, it written multiple times. Okay, there's something issue. You can see that so much data is get repeated. 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is repeated so much of times? Maybe, maybe the problem is somewhere. Okay. Okay, okay. We printed, we have printed RW for we need to print the for I in something, na? So we print I, but all the things. Okay. Now you can see that we have proper filtered data which will get correct. Same data we are having here. Database connection. It's very important part. Okay. So now you can see that we properly connected and we fetch the data from the database. Remember the sequence? The very first thing we installed it, then we have a function called connect. So connect is basically used to establish the connection with the database. To connect any database, we need a basic parameters, host name, which is a local host, database name, whichever the database you have created, you can write the database name. Username remains same, port remains same, host remains same. Only the two things is get changes. One is your database name and your password. Fine. So before writing any kind of queries, the very first thing you have to do the database connection. Once the connection is established, then you can start adding the queries. So then we get a cursor. So we want to iterate every data. No? So that's when there is another cursor.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
which function?
Nothing.
So there's connection dot cursor to iterate data, and then there is execute is a function where you have to execute query. Okay. Now your all the queries will be get executed out. So you may apply a where clause also, aggregate function also. Okay, there are different kind of query you can perform here. Fetch all is a function which fetch all the record from the database, and we can apply the for loop in that the raw data we are selecting and we extract one by one data. Fine. So this is how we can write the SQL query. In the place of select star from contact, you can perform any kind of query, any kind of. When I'm talking about any kind, so that means SQL queries. Suppose what if I want to fetch the data only from the Pune city? So how you can add the conditions? For adding condition, which clause is used in SQL? Okay, I might not be remember, but there is we use where clause if you remember that. Okay, slightly brush up is needed because database. So where we can write, then we can specify the field name where you want to apply, and here you want only data from the Nasik city. So you can write any SSI. So this is also the query where we can write instead of the select star. So if I go there and if I change the queries, select star from contact where city is equal to Nasik. Now we can have only data from the Nasik city. Okay. If you remember the output, you can see that we are having the data only from the Nasik city only. Okay. In a similar manner, you can apply the any conditions. You can want the greater than is, or you want less than is. So any kind of formats, any kind of things you can filter out here. So the very first job is to be to connect to the database, and then you can keep on executing the different queries in the different conditions. Okay. So let's try two, three different syntax. Suppose if you want to get the data, all the male peoples, then you can write here gender, GENDER, gender is equal to male, female. So male. Here having all the data who are male. This thing also I can write here. Once you got the position and the functions, you can keep on changing the things accordingly. So what your query it is, gender is equal to. But remember one query at a one time, not all the query at every time. So I'll comment one of the queries like this. So it's hashtag. Then instead of city, I want to compare here the gender is equal to male. So that is also false. Here. Gender is equal to male. So now you can have all the candidates who are male. In a similar manner, you can do the female also. So any case. Okay. Suppose now you have some different condition where you have a age here. If you want to filter data based on the age, so that also you can do. So for that, what you have to do instead of this condition.
Your voice is cracking.
Hello, you got the database connection. How we done the database connection? The first one, the DB connection we have done. Then we are writing the queries from where we can select the data. And in the select query, we are performing different kind of variations. Okay. Your today's first job
Yes.
is to install the PC module, do the connection with the database, and we select the query combination queries. Okay. So initially we have connected the all the record, and then we are applying now where conditions. Okay, this is your first query. Even you can write where condition also. I just now want to check the numeric parts. Numeric part means what? Where A is some. Assume that you want all the record who is adult, where A is greater than 18. Now if you perform the query, you can have all the age which is greater than 18, 23, 27, 30. Okay, so this is how you can write. Now, which kind of query is pending? You can add and or also in not in between aggregate function. Every type of select query you can perform within this execute functions that will get executed. Okay. So the first task you are getting started with the DB connection part. You have to work on the database connections and the select query, different kind of combination. Once we've done that, then the next we are going to see the types of queries you're already aware about insert. Then we see how to insert the value. Take a value from user and put it to database. And once you done the insert, then we can see update us. And then after update, you can see the delete queries. So basically the CRUD operation, insert, update, delete, select. So these are the four combination that we are going to see. Today's part is very important that how we done the connection and how we done the execute queries. Is there any doubt in any functions? So can you tell me
No,
that
sir.
how many function we have used in this code? Just tell me the number of functions
We
available
have
within this code.
used
How many functions are there?
one is connect
Hmm, correct.
and then
Connect
cursor and execute
cursor also.
And one more is there.
and fetch.
Ex-
Fetch all.
Execute and
Okay,
fetch all.
correct. So basically, the four function we have done. The first one is a connect one, which connect the database, the cursor, execute, and the fetch all. Okay. So
Yes.
today's
So
task is to be whichever the database you have, you add database names, your password. Firstly, do the connection. Before that, install this model. Okay. And then execute the select.
so can you tell the module name?
Yeah, I'll just send you this code. Already I've sent you. So I'll send you the
Can
name
you
of the
tell
model.
the for to write the command
Okay.
prompt?
Yeah, see, there are two ways to install the model. The first is very straight. PIP install model name. If you tick that checkbox, if there is no checkbox listed, you have to write python.exe minus m pip install the model. RB in your case, you have to like that go for the ideally location,
I did that.
right? You have to open the ideally, then you go with the file locations, and again here you can right click, again go for the file locations. Okay, then there is a script is there, and this thing you can like this command prompts. So you can reach the root path, and then pip install module name. Okay, you got it? Perfect. Try this. Is there any issue? You can just send me a screenshot.